Hi there, I'm Michael, Technical Engineer at h2x. In this video, I'm going to explain how you can use h2x to size piping equipment using our software. So the first thing you're going to want to do in any h2x design is set the flow source. So this is a location on a uploaded PDF plan or a drawn plan where you can enter a height above floor. Let's say it comes in at 1 foot above the floor, a static and residual pressure. Let's go for 80 psi for static and 40 psi for residual. And from this point, you can draw pipe work. So we can select our main pipe, currently made from copper, and a left click on the flow source will enable us to start our main horizontal pipe at the height of 1 foot above the floor. Every time you do another left click, you can change height by typing in H, where you can bring that up to say 9 feet above the floor, so up in the ceiling. And you can also change direction after another left click. To add load onto this pipework, you can select fixtures or loading nodes from the toolbar up at the top here. So we can select a loading node and we'll choose a fixture node to start with to explain the principles of the pipe sizing. If you click onto that load node, you can set the number of water supply fixture units. Now, the supply fixture units are related to a peak flow rate design standard in the system settings under methods. Here you can see that on the water tab, we're using the uniform plumbing code for flush tanks. So based on the number of water supply fixture units that run through this pipe back to our flow source, it's going to use the Hunter's curve to determine the peak flow rate requirement in gallons per minute on this pipe and on this pipe. That will then be used with the maximum velocity and maximum pressure drop parameter to determine the maximum pipe size or the minimum pipe size required for that particular piece of pipe. You can see that you can use main and branch pipes, so you can differentiate between two different pipe materials based on their location and their use on the design. So we can put them both to copper if needed. So if we hit results and say that we have 10 water supply fixture units, h2x will calculate the required pipe size, so 3/4 inch going over to our load node, and you can see that we've actually got a cold water pressure overload here, but I'll explain that in more detail later. Now, you don't have to use the nodes. You can use fixtures from the drop down menu here, so you could choose a hot lavatory sink, rotate it, and place it. To connect this to our cold water pipe, you can use the branch pipe connection, or you could use the main pipe, or you could click onto the lavatory sink, hold control and click onto the cold water main and hit auto connect, and that will automatically route the pipework into the back of that lavatory sink. Notice there we've got a small black horseshoe, meaning that that pipe's dropped down to the level of the inlet height of that lavatory sink. To connect up the hot water fixture, you can select a hot water plant from the drop down menu there, from the equipment menu. This can represent your water heater, and you can change things like the shape and size of it. You can choose whether you have a hot water recirculation coming out of the outlet side, and you can also choose what inlets you have on there as well. So we have one cold water inlet and one hot water outlet. To connect it to the cold water mains, just use the main pipe tools there, and you go over to hot water to connect up the hot water side, like so. And what this will do is it will take the hot and cold water fixture units from that fixture, run that back through our pipework to our flow source and determine the required pipe sizes, this time 1/2 inch. These design steps can be applied to uploaded PDF plans, and that's where h2x really comes into use. If we zoom out here, you can see I've got an uploaded PDF floor plan with some pipes already drawn on there for the sake of speed later on. Now, if we zoom in to our hardware store here, and we switch back over to cold water, we can add our incoming flow source representing our cold water main connection, enter our residual and static pressures, and our height above floor, where we can then start to draw our main pipe work from here. So I'm going to do a left click straight out of the side of that main water connection. My second left click, I'm going to bring my pipe up to 9 feet above the floor and connect it up to my main water reticulation. Notice that this runs into another hardware store cupboard where it connects into a hot water recirculation cylinder and runs across the floor plan like this. Now, to run the hot water recirculation pipe, you switch over to hot water and you can use your return pipe here. And you just want to run that alongside the hot water pipe like so. To run multiple pipes at once, you can use the multi-pipe tool, and that will allow you to pick up multiple pipe types at elbows, cap ends, or inlet or outlet points on fixtures or plant. I'm going to pick up the hot water recirculation and the cold water pipe here. I'm going to run that across our floor plan over to our other fixtures across the other side here. We can then drag them and connect them into place like this. And you can see that the flow and return directions have been automatically recognized based on how we've connected them up. To connect the plan between floors, you can use our risers here. So they can be taken from the menu at the top, and that will enable you to connect these pipes between two levels where we can then continue our design up on this second floor. Multi-pipe can also be used at the midpoint of any given pipe. So you can see there I can pick up these 3 pipes and run them across like this. You may have noticed that both our hot water and our hot water recirculation pipes are now showing red, and this is because I need to connect them into one another and add a balancing valve for h2x to recognize it as a available circuit for the hot water recirculation. To do that, select either the return pipe or the main pipe, connect it back into itself like this, and you'll notice that the flow direction is shown. And after the last connected fixture, when we come to connect them all up, you can add a balancing valve, which will help h2x to recognize that that is a hot water recirculation branch. That just needs to be done on every branch on that circuit, and that will enable h2x to choose which one has the worst case pressure loss and will be used for the recirculation pump duty sizing. To connect a bathroom up like this one here, all you need to do is follow the connecting steps I showed in the previous steps. Click on the hot and cold water pipe, select so, hold control while you're doing it, click on the fixture and hit auto connect. H2X will then route the pipework automatically into the back of that fixture. However, you can use the manual pipe drawing tools with the branch pipe here, for example, to come out of the side of this WC, bring that up to the 9 feet height, and then bring that over to the cold water main like so. You could also use multi-pipe in the same way. Bring it out like so. Left click, type in H, 9 feet. That's running over the top of the shower, where we can then do a left click on our cold water and on our hot water. You'll know that the pipes are connected because they will change from being transparent to opaque and lit up like this. So your fully connected design is going to look a little something like this. So you have every single fixture connected to the hot and cold water pipes laid out like this. You can see that the hot water recirculation has a flow direction, and you have balancing valves coming off of each branch like so after the last connected fixture. Now that the design is at this stage, you can hit results, and h2x is going to give you the pipe size and requirements of that system. So you can see on our main incoming water, we have a 1.5 inch pipe that has 36.38 gallons per minute associated to it. Again, based on that Hunter's curve diversification. h2x will also calculate the pressure loss through each pipe, like so. See there, we work in PSI per 100 foot. Let us know if there is a better unit to work to. Obviously, we would like your feedback on this. Just feel free to let us know in the comments what a better one would be to work to, unless if this is the one, yeah, you could equally just let us know that we've got it right. But yeah, because we calculate all of that information on both the hot and cold water pipes, we can determine what the index node and index circuit paths are. So, for example, the index circuit for the hot water recirculation, if we zoom out, that path is highlighted with that purple hued colour, and that goes up to the second floor over to his bath room here. Now, because we have that information, if we go back to level 1 and we go down to the hot water plant, we can go to the pump and tank setting where we can turn on the recirculation pump duty requirement, and that is 0.77755 US gallons per minute at 2.261 psi. So that's your pump duty requirement. If for some reason we had a low incoming pressure, so let's say we only had 20 and 40, h2x will let us know that we need to boost that incoming pressure in order to meet the minimum pressure requirements at our fixtures. So that's saying that we're not quite meeting the required incoming cold and hot water pressure of 15 psi. So that means that we're going to have to boost this incoming water. If we go to design and go to equipment and go to booster pump, we can hook this up using our pipe tools. And this will tell us exactly what booster pump duty we require in order to meet the demands of those fixtures. So we need a duty standby pump that's going to give us 36.375 US gallons per minute at at 22 psi outlet pressure. From this design, we can export a PDF set of drawings. We can set the paper size and the scale. You can choose the size of the detail. That's the pipe sizes and the pump sizes, and you can choose exactly what references you want to be shown using the tick box menu off to the right here. This will show things like your company logos, the project title, and other information off to the side here on this bar. And that can be made horizontal, vertical, or you can actually set your own custom one up in the project settings. If we go to export again, you can also get a bill of materials, which will specify all of the pipework, all of the fixtures, all of the valves that have been used on this design. So this information is pulled from that design. It's the number of fittings that we've used. You can see we've used 8 basins. The rate is a little high at the moment, but that can be changed in the master rates settings here. 5 basin, change that price in there. It'll change the price for the rest of the document. But you can see that's been done for all of our pipe work in terms of the length, the number of T's. So it's counted all of the T's that we require for this design. Same with the elbows, reducers, the we have some PEX pipe work on there and the hot water, I believe, and other items on there that we need. All of the calculations can be exported in Excel via this design report, and that will essentially give you all of this calculated information in that Excel format, included some of the other hidden items that have been used to obviously calculate the requirements of this. You can get a taste of what's on that by hovering over any pipe. Okay, please let us know if you have any feedback in the comment section. And if you found the video useful, please leave a like rating and feel free to subscribe to get updated whenever we release a new video. Thank you very much.